Afriforum has reached out to assist the family of murdered Bokgabo Poo. Recently, the court found Ntokozo Zikhali not guilty of killing the 4-year-old. Bokgabo was last seen on CCTV footage near her family home, and later her mutilated body was found in an open veld. Joining us to tell us how the family will be assisting is Barry Bateman, Afriforum spokesperson. Very good morning to you, Barry. Thank you for your time. You're determined to help Bokgabo Poo's family get to the bottom of this matter, get some answers, because Ntokozo Zikhali has been acquitted of killing their little girl. The family is now turned to Afriforum for help. How exactly will you be assisting?
Good morning, and thanks for having me. Well, we had a meeting, a consultation with Father Temba, who has assisted this family since this incident happened last year. And we also spoke to Irvin, Bokgabo's father. And we first had to explain to them, and this is part of the difficulty that we're having. We first had to explain to them that the accused person in this murder, who was subsequently acquitted, cannot be retried again. He simply cannot be retried for this murder. The fact that he was acquitted means that it's over. Perhaps there's some comfort in the fact that he was sentenced to life on the rape of the other girl. But on this particular matter, there is no further action that can be taken. But it was our office, Advocate Nell, that had to explain it to the father, Irvin, and Father Temba, because the NPA hadn't even consulted with anybody, any of the family, the people whom the NPA is supposed to represent in our courts. They hadn't even taken them into the confidence and explained to them, what does this acquittal mean in terms of the case against that particular accused? So the first thing we did was to explain this. Advocate Nell going into detail what this means in terms of law, setting it out for them. These are laymen. These are people who don't understand the process and appears haven't been given the guidance by the NPA prosecutor from the very beginning. So that's what we started with. Our next step, and we are in the process of writing letters, both to the NPA as well as the SAPS, to organize a sit-down. We would like a meeting with the investigating officer, and we would like a meeting with the prosecutor, together with the family of Bokgabo, whom we now represent, and let them explain what went wrong in the investigation. How is it possible that a man gives a confession where it turns out that he was allegedly coerced prior to that, he was assaulted? How is it that this man was taken on a pointing out and he wasn't read his rights? I mean, these are basic investigation things that need to be done, but they weren't. And it's a failure that ultimately resulted in this man being acquitted.
Yeah.
We want that explained. The family deserves an answer. Same from the NPA. Why did you not consult with him? Why did you not explain this? We will get those answers for the family.
Yeah, Barry, the family definitely deserves an answer. But I'd like us to listen into Bokgabo's father. Of course, a very emotional time, a lot of confusion within the midst of it. Let's listen to the spite.
The perpetrator, Ntokozo, been out on bail and committed this further crime. And here we are sitting with a poor investigation by the police. And the police has no even sense to give us the report till how far did they investigate. The only report is the confession statement and the video footage, of which, by the way, last month, Ivan correct me, they had to come back to us, to the family. They asked for the video footage because it was missing.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to that, you can see that there are certainly more questions than answers here. So in terms of order of events, Barry, what we know is that Bokgabo's dismembered body was found in October last year, with some body parts still missing in 2 separate locations in Wattville. What sort of answers are you hoping to get now from the NPA and the SAPS as you try to help the family get closure?
You touch on perhaps the most sensitive point in this, is a father, a mother, a family, a community that needs closure. Father Temba, in that consultation that you just played there, went into great detail how he blessed the child's body. He had to bury this child, but the child has been buried with not intact. There are still some body parts that are missing. So one of the questions that we're going to be asking of the SAPS is, what is being done to locate the missing body parts of this little girl? Let's find those. Let's put whatever resources we have available to ensuring that we can find them, that it can be returned, and she can be buried as a whole child. And this is part of the healing. This is part of the process of closure for this family and this community, and we're going to do our very best to help them.
What does this case really bring to the forefront about the loopholes in the system? I mean, a family who had no idea what was going to happen, and yet they still didn't have the closure they needed. Some questions were still not answered. What does this expose?
Well, it's not loopholes in the system. The system is there. There's the Criminal Procedure Act. There is the SAPS Act. There's various systems that are there. It's not loopholes in the system. It's the failure of the people who function within that system. It is a demonstration of rank incompetence. It is a demonstration of a callous attitude that the state takes towards victims of crime. We see this every day at our private prosecution unit. That is why people approach us, because the state simply does not care about the victims of crime. And they just go through a tick box exercise in their investigations. They gather what they can. They throw a docket at the NPA. The NPA goes to court. And invariably, these matters fail because there is no actual care about the work that is being done. What happens with us many times is that people will come to us before we even get to a trial stage, during the investigation stage. And only with our watching brief and having the private prosecution looking over the shoulder of an investigator and then over the shoulder of a prosecutor do we ensure that matters are properly investigated, enrolled, and prosecuted. It shouldn't be like this. We want to see a real shake-up with the criminal justice system, and ultimately we believe that private prosecution should become more of a feature in our system to allow members of the public to attain justice.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Barry Bateman. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Spokesperson of Afriforum, speaking there about how the unit will be reaching out to assist the family of Bokgabo Poo, who, of course, body parts are still missing. The family is still looking for closure.